The time is precisely 1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Ramesh Piris and read by Chandima Virakon. Headlines. The President pledges to fulfill all promises in the next 3 years. The Prime Minister says the government is dedicated to constructing the road network to uplift the transportation system in the country. The leader of the opposition baseless statement are being made that the country will be developed through a computer technology revolution. The Ministry of Education announces the new dates for the Grade 5 Scholarship and GCE Advanced Level Examination. The Mavanella Pradeshya Sabha Chairman and the Balagoda Urban Council Chairman removed from their posts. The second session of the 9th Parliament to be declared open on Tuesday. Over 4.6 million booster vaccines administered in Sri Lanka against COVID-19. In international news, Kosovo bans Serbian vote on constitutional changes on its soil. In sports news, it's tennis. Tennis star Novak Djokovic loses his last-ditch court bid to stay in Australia. Local stories in detail. The head of state assured that all promises made during the presidential election will be fulfilled within the next 3 years. Therefore, the President, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, requested the public to continue to place their trust in him. The head of state said he informed the cabinet of ministers, members of parliament and regional members to work towards fulfilling the tasks promised to the people. The President urged the public to obtain the booster vaccine dose by disregarding various claims circulating pertaining to the booster shot. He also pledged that farmers will not be forgotten, claiming a cultivation era will be created and vowed to uphold the votes he garnered at the election. The President expressed his views during the opening of the second phase of the Central Expressway from Mirigama to Kurunegala, the Athugalpura entrance. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says individuals who benefit from projects initiated by the government are the same group that criticizes the government while reaping its benefits. The Premier expressed his views during the opening of the second phase of the Central Expressway from Mirigama to Kurunegala, the Athugalpura entrance, last evening. The Premier charged that after 2015, the Good Governance government failed to initiate construction of the 37-kilometre Kadawatha-Mirigama stretch, adding that had they done so, today the government would be completing the stretch to Kurunegala. The Prime Minister said the current government had to continue the project from where it stopped, adding that the expressway will be completed by 2024. Premier Rajapaksa said the government is dedicated to constructing roads to ensure the public can travel safely without having to obtain approval, unlike during the conflict. The leader of the opposition, Sajith Premadasa, says leaders are making baseless statements that the country will be developed through smart education and a computer technology revolution. MP Premadasa, speaking at a gathering in Ratnapura, said that he will raise concern in and outside of Parliament until farmers are compensated for the losses they have incurred thus far. The opposition leader said he raised many questions in Parliament in the past, adding that today his questions have been proven true. He charged the government providing businessmen with large tax concessions amounting to 600 to 700 billion rupees after coming into power, thereby losing state income. The Sabaragamuwa Governor Tikirikobbe Kadua has issued a special gazette notification stating that the chairman of the Mavanella Pradeshya Sabha, H.P. Chandana Kumara, is considered to have resigned from his position with effect from 31st December, following the failure to pass the budget. He has issued the statement in accordance with the powers vested in him under the provisions of the Pradeshya Sabha Act. The governor of Sabaragamuwa has also taken steps to delegate the powers of the chairman of the Mavanella Pradeshya Sabha to its deputy chairman. The Parliamentary Secretary-General Dhammika Dasanayake said President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will ceremonially declare open the second session of the 9th Parliament on Tuesday, the 18th of January, and present the government policy statement. The rehearsal for the ceremonial opening of the second session of the 9th Parliament was held on Thursday at the Parliament premises. Officers of the Police Cultural Division and students of the President's Girls' College, Sri Jayawardenepura, were also present. Following the ceremonial opening of the second session of the 9th Parliament, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is scheduled to present the government policy statement at 10 a.m. in accordance with the powers vested in him by Article 33(2) of the Constitution. According to the Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry, 661 new COVID-19 cases were reported so far on Saturday. Accordingly, a total of 595,657 COVID-19 cases have been reported since the beginning of the pandemic. While 12,411 infected patients are currently under medical care at hospitals and homes, 568,049 patients have fully recovered and been discharged from hospitals. Sri Lanka on Saturday reported 7 deaths, raising the total to 15,197. Meanwhile, the Army-manned COVID vaccination centres are in operation in all districts today. Accordingly, 49,798 COVID booster doses were administered yesterday, marking an overall tally of booster doses administered in the country to 4,640,459. A total of 16,189,227 people have received a first dose of COVID-19 vaccine and 13,869,020 have received a second dose. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with the local stories. In the wake of the new detection of 160 more cases of Omicron, where 2 out of 3 sub-lineages were also identified, Dr. Chandima Jivandara said the Omicron is becoming the dominant variant in Sri Lanka, overtaking Delta variant. The director of the Department of Immunology and Molecular Medicine at Sri Jayawardenepura said 3 sub-lineages of Omicron, namely BA1, BA2 and BA3, had been identified worldwide and added, out of which 2 had been detected in the island. He added majority of cases have been reported from departure passengers who are from Colombo, Galle, Matara, Kandy, Gampaha and Trincomalee districts. The police said 3 people have drowned in Ratnapura and Koslanda. 4 people had gone to bathe in the Kaluganga last evening in Sri Palabaddala in Ratnapura. Police said 2 of them, aged 22 and 40, were swept away by strong currents. One other person had managed to swim ashore, while a 10-year-old boy remains missing. At the same time, a 16-year-old boy drowned while bathing in the Makaldeni River in Koslanda. Moreover, a 54-year-old man who was returning from pilgrimage to Katragama is reported missing while bathing in a canal attached to Udavalava Reservoir in Sevanagala. To end the local news, the headlines again. The President pledges to fulfill all promises in the next 3 years. The Prime Minister says the government is dedicated to constructing the road network to uplift the transportation system in the country. The leader of the opposition's baseless statements are being made that the country will be developed through a computer technology revolution. The Ministry of Education announces the new dates for the Grade 5 Scholarship and GCE Advanced Level Examination. The Mavanala Pradesh Sabha Chairman and the Balangoda Urban Council Chairman removed from their posts. The second session of the 9th Parliament to be declared open on Tuesday. Over 4.6 million booster vaccines administered in Sri Lanka against COVID-19. That ends the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatma.
And on the main news story, the Ministry of Education announced that the Grade 5 Scholarship Examination, which was scheduled to be held in the year 2021, will be held on January 22nd, and the 2021 GCE Advanced Level Examination will be held from February 7th to March 5th. The Commissioner General of Examinations, LMD Dharmasena, said a total of 340,507 candidates are sitting for the Grade 5 Scholarship Examination. Furthermore, he added a total of 5,242 candidates are taking the GCE Advanced Level Examination. Out of the total, 279,141 are school candidates and 66,101 are private candidates. The examination will be held at 2,943 examination centres island-wide and 499 coordinating centres will be operating. That ends the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watch Light. The Department of Examinations has announced the dates that a blanket ban will be imposed on the conduct of tuition classes, lectures and seminars related to the Grade 5 Scholarship Examination and the 2021 GC Advanced Level Examination. Accordingly, a ban will come into force at midnight on Tuesday, the 18th of January for the Grade 5 Scholarship Examination. The Exams Department announced that activities related to the A-Level exam will be banned from midnight on the 1st of February till the duration of the exam. That ends Watch Light.
Coming up, World News.
Headlines of the World News. Kosovo bans Serbian vote on constitutional changes on its soil. The damage from eruption in Tonga being investigated. Thousands gather at Ireland and UK vigils. Kosovo's parliament has passed a resolution banning ethnic Serbs from voting on Kosovan soil in Serbia's national referendum on constitutional amendments. Serbia will hold a referendum today on amendments to the constitution that would change how judges and prosecutors are elected, a move the government says is aimed at securing an independent judiciary, a condition for European Union membership. Kosovo's independence backers, the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Italy and the EU mission urged Prime Minister Albin Kurti to allow Serbs in Kosovo to vote in the referendum. Pacific Rim nations have been trying to assess damage in Tonga, which was hit by a massive volcanic eruption and tsunamis. The extent of the damage is yet to be known. New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern cited a damaged undersea cable as one reason for difficulties in communicating with the South Pacific nation. An underwater volcano around 65 kilometers north of Tonga's capital, Nuku'alofa, erupted on Saturday afternoon. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in the U.S. state of Hawaii says tsunamis of up to around 80 centimeters high were observed in Tonga. More vigils are taking place across the island of Ireland and the United Kingdom in memory of murdered teacher Aisling Murphy. The 23-year-old was killed on the banks of the Grand Canal outside Tullamore, County Offaly, on Wednesday. Parkrun runners across the island held moments of silence on Saturday morning for Miss Murphy. RTE have reported that the Irish police have identified a new person of interest who is currently in hospital. To end the world news, the headlines again. Kosovo bans Serbian vote on constitutional changes on its soil. The damage from eruption in Tonga being investigated. Thousands gather at Ireland and UK vigils. That ends the world news.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070-400-1928.
And on development news, the second phase of the Central Expressway from Meerigama to Kurunagala was inaugurated yesterday. The section from Meerigama to Kurunagala, which has been designated as the Athugalpura entrance, has been constructed in a manner that minimizes environmental and social impacts. The 40.09 kilometer section of the expressway has 4 lanes. The total cost of this project is 137 billion rupees. 5 interchange centres with payment counters have been set up at Meerigama, Nakalagamua, Dambokka, Kurunagala and Yagapitiya. That ends Development News.
Development News was brought to you by The coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Moving on to sports news, it's tennis and cricket news. In tennis news, tennis star Novak Djokovic lost his last-ditch court bid to stay in Australia and is said to be deported. Federal judges rejected his appeal after the government cancelled his visa for the second time this month on public health grounds. The government argued the 34-year-old Serb, who is not vaccinated against COVID-19, posed a threat to public health. Djokovic is now unable to defend his Australian Open title in Melbourne. And in cricket news, Sri Lanka will take on Zimbabwe at the Pallekele International Cricket Stadium, Kandy, on the first one-day international this afternoon. This is the first limited overs assignment for Dasun Shanaka-led side in 2022. Sri Lanka comes in from a 2-0 victory over the West Indies in the Test series and have started showing promising signs. Finally, from Hobart, Australia, where Australia is facing England on the third day's play of the fifth and final test of the Ashes series, Australia in their second innings replied to England's 188 runs first innings score were 155 all out short while ago, with an overall innings lead of 270 runs. Mark Wood, with an exemplary bowling spell, captured 6 wickets of 37 runs, while Stuart Broad took 3 wickets for 51 runs. That ends sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Commercial Bank of Ceylon has once again become the highest-ranked bank in the LMD 100 and is among the top 10 corporate giants on this prestigious list for the 28th consecutive year, having been ranked among the top 10 every year since the ranking was first published in respect of 1993-94. The LMD 100 for 2020-2021 ranks Sri Lanka's benchmark private sector banks at number 1 overall in terms of assets, at number 2 for profit, at number 2 for shareholders' funds, and at number 4 for revenue, among all corporates, reaffirming the bank's status as one of the country's strongest business entities. That ends Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And on economic news, the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Ajit Niwad Cabral, says although additional money has been printed, it remains at a controllable level. Governor Cabral said there are knowledgeable and learned people at CBSL as opposed to Facebook economists. Cabral said employees at the central bank are aware of the measures that should be taken and called on the opposition to refrain from raising unnecessary issues. That ends economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. NOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. NOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Weather Report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. The Meteorological Department forecast a few showers to occur in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batticaloa districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in the central, Sabaragamuwa and western provinces and in Galle and Matra districts in the afternoon. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. That ends the weather report. And to conclude this bulletin of news, the headlines again. The President pledges to fulfill all promises in the next 3 years. The Prime Minister says the government is dedicated to constructing the road network to uplift the transportation system in the country. The leader of the opposition says baseless statements are being made that the country will be developed through a computer technology revolution. The Ministry of Education announces the new dates for the Grade 5 Scholarship and GCE Advanced Level Examination. The Mavanella Pradesh Sabha Chairman and the Balangoda Urban Council Chairman removed from their posts. The second session of the 9th Parliament to be declared open on Tuesday. Over 4.6 million booster vaccines administered in Sri Lanka against COVID-19. In news overseas, Kosovo bans Serbian vote on constitutional changes on its soil. In sports news, it's tennis. Tennis star Novak Djokovic loses his last-ditch court bid to stay in Australia. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.